Hello, happy Wednesday. Good evening. Let's see who's here. Okay, I'm waiting for more viewers so I can explain the dish. Hello. So, like I announced, it's a vegetarian dish and no meat today. No beef, no chicken, none of that. We're just gonna use vegetables. And for my vegetables, I have onions, of course, garlic. Hello. We have potatoes. Over here, I have my basket of, oh, they're falling all over. I have tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, of course, Italian eggplant, and we have calabaza squash. So you can also use the zucchini, the green zucchini. So this is what we're gonna do. This dish, it's gonna be done mostly in the oven. We're gonna be roasting the vegetables and then we're gonna stack them together, kind of like a ratatouille. It's called kawaj. It's from my hometown, and you can actually add meat to it if you want to. I've been making it all the way vegetarian. And the kafta that we made a couple episodes before, you can actually also have a side of kafta with it, so that will be your meat dish, and then you'll have your vegetable dish. And we're gonna make some basmati rice to accompany it. You don't have to have rice, but that's how I usually do it. So we're also gonna have tomato sauce. We're gonna make it in a tomato sauce, and for the spices that are gonna go in it, it's gonna, of course, take salt, fresh cracked pepper. We have garlic powder, onion powder, and we have just a little bit of allspice, ground allspice. We are gonna be using mint today. So last time we used cardamom for the shawarma. This time we're gonna use a different spice, and this time is mint, dried crushed mint. And we also have marjoram. I don't know how to say it right, but it's spelled M-A-R-J-O-R-A-M. The smell of it is so good. So this is marjoram. It's dried leaves. You can actually also buy them fresh, especially around the holidays. They do have them in the fresh produce section, so you can actually get it from there. We're gonna be using some olive oil, some extra virgin olive oil, and of course the vegetable oil. So, like I said, we're gonna be stacking the vegetables, but before then, I am gonna, hello Eva. We are gonna roast them in the oven. So they are cooked. You can say that they're already cooked. It's just a matter of stacking them and having them cook with the tomato sauce. So here we go. So we're gonna peel the potatoes all the way. And we're gonna cut them in. Here, I'll show you. I don't know the right word for it, but I know in Spanish they're called media luna, which is half a moon. Wedges, I think they call them wedges in here. So this is what we are gonna be doing with them. So I have 4 potatoes, but we're not gonna use all of them. I think I'm gonna use 2 to 3, because these are the large ones, the large roasting potatoes, the ones that you can make baked potatoes with. So I'm gonna peel 3 of them. Yay, so excited for this, Christina. Thank you. Yes, I thought I'll do something without meat, since the past 2 times the dishes have had meat in it, and I know a lot of people nowadays are avoiding meat. So I still like my meat, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but I like my meat. So anyways, here are the potatoes, and I'm gonna cut them. They're gonna be cut in half alongside. You're gonna go like this, and then we are gonna turn them this way Taking notes. Good, Katie. So, and they are gonna go this way. So we are cutting them. Let me show you the thickness. They are gonna be, we don't wanna make them too thin because you kind of want a little bite in them. So they are about this thick. How much is that? Like half an inch maybe? So that's how much we are gonna be making them. And then we are gonna put a little bit of oil and salt and pepper on them and roast them in the oven. And while these roast, then I will cut the eggplant and the same thing with the squash. So it doesn't take very long to make this dish. That's a good thing, that it's a quick dish and it's healthy. If you don't want to do the whole roasting in the oven, you can actually have them all together, put all the vegetables together and just cook them in tomato sauce. But I just feel like it tastes different when you roast the vegetables. It adds more flavor to it. It brings out the flavor of the vegetables in it. So, and it looks prettier too. Like I always say, you always eat with your eyes first. So it has to look inviting. And I feel like cooking in the oven or baking even like our savory dishes, it just looks different. So here we have the potatoes. Let me wash them quick and be right back. Okay, so I washed them and I'm drying them with a paper towel so we don't have a whole lot of water. And I'm gonna add a little bit of the vegetable oil, toss them in it. About maybe like 2 tablespoons, I would say. I'm gonna do the fresh pepper. And we're gonna do a little bit of salt. We don't wanna do too much because you don't want it to be too salty. Okay, so we have it there. Let's mix them all together. And then you are gonna need, oh, gracias, Tia Munira. Tia Munira is watching me all the way from Venezuela, from Ciudad Bolivar. And she's been following me. She's been watching all the videos, all the live videos. Thank you. Thank you, Tia Munira. So, non-stick spray. And we are gonna put the potatoes in here. And I already have the oven set at 425 convection roast. The reason I have it that high is because since we are live, I'm trying to do it as quick as possible so you can see the finished dish. So here we have them. You see that? Hi from Chicago. Hello, Mona. She's flying home soon. So you are from Texas, right? So definitely you have to come and see me. So here we have them, and I'm gonna put them in the oven, and I'm gonna start with the eggplants. I put the timer on just in case. So the eggplants. What we're gonna do with the eggplants? With the eggplants, I have them already washed. So we're taking off the little head. And what I do with the eggplant, I don't peel it all the way. I do stripes because if you take all the skin off, I feel like it gets too mushy. So it keeps the meat of the eggplant together. So we will do one, skip one. So, and it also looks pretty like that. Okay, see that? There you go. Okay. You are from Killeen. Oh wow, that's awesome. Then definitely I have to see you next time. So, good thing this doesn't have a whole lot of seeds. I feel like when they have too much seeds, they're a little bitter. So this one here hopefully is sweet. So the same thing with these. We are gonna cut them in small wedges. These are a little bit thicker than the potatoes. You don't want them too thick or too thin. So there you go. Okay, and we put them in there. Here you go. So we have two so far. I mean one so far. This is the second one. Any questions? So again, we are doing a vegetarian dish. The ingredients are, the vegetables in it are potatoes, Italian eggplant, calabaza squash, tomatoes, onions, and garlic, of course. And it's gonna be baked in a tomato sauce. So here's the other half, the other eggplant. And the good thing, it doesn't have a whole lot of seeds, so that's good. Here we go. And here is the second one. Okay, so the same thing, we're gonna do the same thing with this one. We're gonna add a little bit of oil. You can also put them on the tray and brush them with the oil. How many servings will this make? This will make you let me see, 1, 2. It will make you about 12 to 15 servings. And when I'm saying servings, it's if you're scooping it with this one. The bowl, yes, it's the same on the potatoes. I washed them, so they were already clean. So yes, I use the same bowl because it has still some of the oil in it and still has some of the salt and the pepper. So it's mostly just to season it together. So that's why I use the same one. You can use another one, and like I was also saying, you can also right away put it on the tray that's gonna go in the oven. You can also put them there and just either spray it with oil or brush them with oil. You can also do that. Yes, it's the same one. So right here. So okay, now here's the thing about eggplant. Eggplant absorbs the oil like a sponge. So don't put too much. Don't let it fool you. If it seems like you're putting the oil and it's going away, don't keep adding oil because it's gonna keep taking it in. It's like a sponge. So just put a little bit, mix it together, put it on the tray and in the oven. And actually, when it starts heating up, all the oil that it absorbed, it starts coming out. So here is another tray. My trays are a little used, a little overused. So for the next one, I will get new trays. Okay. So here you go. The same thing. I'm gonna mix these, and they're gonna go in the oven. Are we gonna do the same thing with the calabaza squash? Calabaza squash is like the Mexican squash. I like to use this one. This is the one that we use back home. So how do you pick an eggplant? An eggplant, for it to be somehow fresh and it's not very old, always look at the little head. This here, make sure it's green. When it starts turning black or brown, it means it's old, and then you're gonna see a lot of dents in it too. It starts turning black from the inside. So always make sure these are green. That's how you know it's a good eggplant. And make sure that it's also smooth, like it doesn't have a lot of dents, or some people are not very nice at the grocery store and they just throw the vegetables around and it gets they get dents in them. So make sure that it's smooth like that. That's why these look so nice, because I made sure to pick the pretty ones. Let's say that, pick the pretty ones. Okay, let me check on the potatoes. Yep, they are definitely cooking in there. You're very welcome. Any questions that you all have, please ask. That's the whole purpose of these live videos. And again, like I always say, hey Sandy, like I always say, I'm not a chef, I just like to cook. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna put it on the tray and it's gonna go in the oven with the potatoes, and we're gonna work on the squash. And then while those are baking or roasting in the oven, we're gonna start making the tomato sauce that's gonna go on top of all the vegetables when we stack them, and it's gonna go in the oven. And then during that time, we're gonna be making the rice. So we have a full dish, a full meal. So here you have it, all the eggplants. You see that? So, and like I said, it looks like some of them, they need a little more oil. Don't worry about that. Once we put them in there, if we feel like we need a little more, we'll add more. But for right now, it's enough. Be right back. Okay, now the squash. Now these, they were not as pretty as I would have loved them to be, but they didn't have so many of them in the store. Sometimes I'm lucky and I find a lot of good ones. Today I wasn't very lucky. So we take the head off, we take the bottom off, and the same thing, I just peel them I take one strip off and leave another strip. So here you go. You can leave the whole skin on it, and the same thing with the eggplant if you want to, but like the eggplant skin, I feel like it's a little bit thick. And it depends also like if it's the time of year for it, because when it's not the time for eggplant, or I don't know what the word is, if somebody can help me online, the skin is thick. But I guess now, when it's not in season, that's what it is. So I believe that from what I know from back home is that usually August, September is the season for eggplant, and then the skin is much thinner. So yep, in season. There you go, Mandy, thank you. So I mean, like this here, the skin of it is thin. So if you want to keep it, you can, but I do it half and half. So that way it's not too much skin and it's not any skin, because if it's not any skin in there, it just melts. So here we go. With these here, since they are small, they are smaller than the potatoes and the eggplant, I'm gonna cut them this way, and then I'm gonna cut them like that and like this. So these are, I cut them a little bit different. The reason is these actually dissolve, so you have to keep a little bit thick so they don't just dissolve in the oven. There you go. Let me check on those potatoes because I can smell them already. They need a little bit more. So by that time I should be done with these, so we can put them in there instead of the potatoes. We can exchange them. So we have, for those who just joined us, we have the eggplant and the potato already roasting in the oven. Oh, thank you, you're sharing it, thank you. So and now we are taking care of the calabaza squash, and like I said, this one here, I'm cutting it in 8s, you can say. And so we are roasting them, and then we are putting them all in a baking dish all together, and we're putting the tomato sauce. The tomato sauce is gonna have it's gonna have salt, pepper, a little bit of allspice and mint and marjoram. Now if you don't like that taste of the mint and the marjoram, then you can also use Italian seasoning instead. So it will have more of that Italian seasoning taste in it, and it will be something a little more familiar to your taste. But also it's not a bad idea to try it the way I'm doing it and see if you like it. I mean, it's always good to try something new and learn new flavors and new dishes. As long as they're not like crazy, then I don't think it's bad to try to learn, to acquire new flavors. Yummy, I would love that, to use the eggplant. Yes, and by the way, for those of you who are also watching for carbs or cannot have potatoes, you do not have to have the potatoes, by the way. You can just use the eggplant and then use zucchini and squash, so you have some color in there. You can also do some red peppers if you want to. Definitely the tomatoes. If you don't like tomatoes, I know some people don't like tomatoes, then that's gonna be a little bit hard. You might wanna try to maybe do it, bake it in a bechamel sauce, which is, oh, thank you, Itzel. I love you, Itzel. So you can try to bake it in a, like I said, a bechamel sauce, but then that one does have milk in it. So really, depending on your diet restriction and your diet preference and all of that, any dish you can definitely adjust it to what you feel is good for you. This here is how I make it, and like I said last time, it doesn't mean I'm right and somebody else is wrong, or this is the way I do it, and I'm showing you how I do it just because I like to share, I guess. I didn't like to share when I was little, especially my toys, but now I feel like, why not? Let's share. So pepper and salt. Vitamins I take, I think it's the caffeine. That's the vitamins I take. You're so cute, Itzel. She is from Panama, right, Itzel? And she's an amazing lady. Her husband is a cardiologist. Now they are living in, where are you? College Station, right? So also an immigrant here in the US and living the American dream, I guess, like I'm doing it. So the same thing, vegetable oil, salt and pepper, simple. So my other tray, like I said, they have been used. So here we go. So the potatoes are done. Okay, so let me show you how these look. Yes, you can also use the olive oil. Now keep in mind with the olive oil, don't overcook it, because it's not good to overcook olive oil. So if you're gonna use the olive oil, just make sure not to use too much of it, and it's not a bad idea if you maybe mix it with a little bit of the vegetable oil so it's thinner. So yes, you are from Panama and you live in College Station, that's true. So look, so can you guys see it well? They are roasted, so I'm gonna put them aside. Now, if you want them like very roasted, go ahead and put them on broil for a little bit, and that way they will catch more color, and it will, I feel like really the fire or the oven adds more taste to it. So here is the zucchini or the squash, the calabaza squash, and it's going in the oven as well. Okay, so we have all the vegetables in the oven, the potatoes are ready, and now we are gonna do something to call it. Yes, who is that? Juanita. Nice. Yes, and so he's gonna be an Aggie, right? That's awesome. So okay, so for that we have them in the oven, and now to add more taste to our dish, because if we're just gonna do just vegetables like that, it needs a little more flavor. So what I'm gonna do is we are gonna be sauteing onions and garlic together in olive oil, and that is gonna go in the bottom of our baking pan, and then we're gonna start stacking the vegetables. So this one here, and these we are gonna cut them. I believe I showed you all how I cut my onions, so I will show you one more time. So we go in half, and then, so they're gonna be like medium to large onions. If you don't like onions, you don't like the texture of onions in your food, you don't have to use fresh onions. In this case, then we are gonna have to just add a little more of the onion powder and the garlic powder to the tomato sauce. Or actually what you can do also, if you don't like the crunch of the onion, grate the onion, and when you saute it, that way you don't have those big chunks of onion. So here you go. So here we have it. So this is another one. I'm putting them in there. Any questions for me? Does anyone have anything, any concerns, anything you want to ask about? This here, the dishes that I've been making lately are dishes that you can find the ingredients of them around you. I'm not gonna get into like the very, very traditional dishes, because then those are gonna be a little hard, because some of the ingredients, like we even have to get them from back home. They're interesting ingredients, some of them. But the ones that I will be doing here on Facebook Live, will be more, there'll be dishes that are not very strange to you guys, because the whole thing is I want to introduce you to some of our cooking, our food. Whew, this thing is spicy, making me cry here. So I want to make sure that it's a kind of food that if you were to try it, you would like it. So butternut squash, honestly, the only way I make butternut squash is I roast it in the oven. And you can, if you eat meat, red meat, you can saute, you can brown some, what you guys call it, hamburger meat. You can brown some of it with some onion, and after you roast it in the oven, you can put it with it. Or if you make them like kind of like boats, I think that will be something that will look nice. I do make a very good pumpkin soup, and it does use the squash in it. So around the holidays, around Thanksgiving, I will make that. Now that definitely is not a Middle Eastern dish. It's an American dish, because we don't have Thanksgiving in any of my two homes. But I like actually Thanksgiving meals. So I learned to make a couple dishes, and I will be sharing those with you if you guys want me to. And so it's something definitely more familiar to you guys and to me, because I've been here for so long. I've been here for almost 22 years in the US. My accent, I'm still working on it. It's not going away. So I'm sorry, that onion really made me teary here. So we put some olive oil. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of vegetable oil with it too, because that olive oil is a little thick. So I'm gonna wait for it to heat up. I'm gonna check on the eggplants that are roasting in the oven, and we also have the squash. So I'll be back. I lost this. Remember I told you that if it needs more oil, we can add more? Well, I'm gonna add just a little bit of this canola oil, because they look a little dry. So just a small spray. I increased the heat to 300 and 450. Your accent is beautiful. Oh, thank you, Juanita. It's a mixed accent. It's funny when they try to figure out what the accent is. They ask me, okay, let me see, where are you from? They never guess it. They never guess it because it's a little bit of Spanish with Arabic, with I don't know. Show that. What is it? In your refrigerator. Okay. Another thing that I heard too about, and I've done it before, is when you're cutting onions, if you put a piece of gum in your mouth, and you are chewing gum while cutting onions, that it helps. I guess it confuses the brain or something. I don't know what it does, but I've tried it and it actually works too. So here I'm sauteing the onions. I will show you in a second how they're supposed to look. At the same time, I'm gonna put the tomato sauce to cook, because I like to cook it a little bit, to boil it a little bit so it thickens. And so when it's ready, when all the vegetables are ready, it goes quick. Yep, they're getting there, almost there. So I have 2 cans of tomato sauce, and these are, each one of them is the 15 ounce. So a total of 30 ounces of tomato sauce. You can use whatever brand you like. If you have a preference, you can definitely use it. This is one that I've been using for a long time, so I just stick with it. It's the Hunt's brand. Now they have the organic Hunt's, and they have like so many. So if you don't have tomato sauce, but you do have fresh tomatoes, then what you do is just put them in the blender and blend them and put them to boil. So I have 2 cans, and I'm gonna add 1 can of water, the same amount of water. I'll do that. So we have the vegetables are in the oven, the onions are sauteing, the tomato sauce is on the stove, and we can also start with the rice actually. So everything will be done together. So I do multitask here. So these, let me show you how the onions look. Hold on for me. Okay, so here are the onions. We're sauteing them. And we're just gonna, until they get a little transparent. Hi, Lily. Oh, hi, Angela. Oh, thank you, Angela. They're all watching me in Caracas, right? All of you are in Caracas, or did you go back to town? My mom, my dad, my older brother, and his beautiful girlfriend. So they're all watching me. And they are, yes, in Venezuela. So there you go. So I'll just a little bit more. Let me go show you the vegetables, how they're doing over here. These are almost done too. Yes, the eggplants, they can come out. They are golden, if you see there. Oh, I'm holding this backwards. Okay, so these are good. You see that? They're roasted. You can roast them a little bit more if you wish, but I believe it's good like this. You see? Yep, they are good. Okay, so we have, what we are waiting on are the, just a little bit more. So I have it on 450 now. I increased the temperature to make it look Caracas. Yep, they are in Caracas. So I have it in there. The tomato sauce, I'm gonna show you what's gonna go in it in a sec. So this here is almost done as well. Okay. There you have it. And now, okay, so there. Okay, for the tomato sauce, here you go. So we are gonna be adding for the tomato sauce, the spices are gonna be, hold on, let me put it this way. Let me go back to my place. I think that's better. Here you go. So, ta-da, right there. Okay, so we're gonna be adding a little bit of salt. Let's add half a teaspoon of kosher salt. Well, it can take 1 teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. If you guys don't like your food too salty, put less. Fresh ground pepper, I'm just gonna do a little bit. Okay, and we are gonna do onion powder. We're gonna do half a teaspoon. And garlic, so onion powder half a teaspoon, garlic powder half a teaspoon. And allspice, we're gonna do 1/4 of a teaspoon, or even less. Let me see. I just did a little less than 1/4, so about, let's say 1/8 of a teaspoon. And I told you about the marjoram. Marjoram, we are gonna do 1 teaspoon. And the mint, we are gonna do half a teaspoon of mint, and then I'll go from there. If I need a little more, I will add some more. It smells so refreshing. Where is Zaina? Zaina's upset with me today. So, Zaina, they're asking about you. He's on the other side of the camera, by the way. Okay, so all of these, I'm just gonna let them boil for a little bit. And right before they're done, I'm gonna add a fresh clove of garlic to add more flavor to the sauce. And we're gonna stack them all together and put them in the oven. So I have this ready for it to go in there. It's a very easy dish. It has a lot of flavor in it, and I feel like anyone can do it. So the onions, they are a little golden. You're hungry now, Samir? Samir, my husband, is always hungry. So he's on his way back from the other bakery. Bless his heart, he's been working really hard. He is such a great man, always supporting, always being there for us. Even if he's super tired, he's still there for us. Love you, Samir. Okay, so everything is almost ready. So we're gonna start putting everything together. Let me get a tray or a pan. So here you go. So this pan here, an oven safe pan. What I'm gonna do, I will this mess here. Sorry, people. So here you go. We're gonna start with the onions, and then we're gonna make layers of the vegetables. So the sauteed onions go in the very bottom. It's onions and garlic, okay? And we saute them in olive oil. Okay, we have that. Now we're gonna put the potatoes. Uh-oh, the squash is ready. Let me go check on it. So we do them in layers. You can actually mix them all together, but I kind of like them in layers. So we have the potatoes. we're gonna put the eggplant. So the tomato sauce is about to start boiling. Where did I put my spoon? I lost my spoon. Here it is. And this way too, since the tomato sauce is also being cooked already. My sidekick is over here. She's not very happy with me today. I promised her something and I didn't do as promised, and she got mad with me. So she's over here. Come on, say hi. They're asking about you. No? Nope. Maybe before we finish, she'll be here. So, the eggplants now. And tomorrow I'm doing walk in my shoes with her. So I'm gonna be her sidekick tomorrow. Zaina, they're calling you, Zaina. Look. I'm telling you. That was Shannon. That was your Aunt Shannon. So these here, I'm trying to make them just a little bit prettier since they are a little bit big. I'm trying to make them just a little bit prettier. And we are gonna put them all together, stick them in the oven, start with the rice. Yes, the rice. You wanna wash the rice for me? She wants to eat the rice, so she doesn't wanna wash the rice for me. And so here we go, we have the eggplant. I'm gonna get the squash is ready actually, but I just left it in there a little bit more so it can catch some more color. And like I said, I just feel like it adds more flavor to it. So the tomato sauce is boiling. I'm gonna reduce the heat so it doesn't get too thick before we need it. Here we go. Any questions? Next time. Yes, I told her tomorrow I will go. She wanted to go to Target. And tomorrow I'm taking her. Well, not, she didn't want to. I'm sorry. She needs to go. She needs to go get something. So. Okay. So we have the squash or here we go. This is hot, people. This is hot. So here we go. We're gonna put these on top. So we have onions with garlic. We have potatoes. We have so onion, garlic, potatoes, eggplant, Mexican squash or zucchini, whatever you guys want. And then I'm gonna do a layer of tomatoes on top, fresh tomatoes, and the tomato sauce, and it goes in the oven for about 20 minutes, I would say. In about 20 minutes, by that time, I should be done with the rice and I will have dinner. So, and if you guys try it, please send me pictures, anything that you try. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you perceived it. Is it worth it? Is it easy? Is it tasty? Everything. Please be honest, because I want feedback to see if it's something that you guys want me to continue doing, or if it's just not worth it, then I will stop. Promise you. So here we go. So we have these here. I'm just gonna put the tomatoes. This time the tomatoes, I am not gonna peel them. My husband is gonna have to forgive me. So let me just cut it. My husband likes the tomatoes to be peeled. Hello, Tatiana. Oh, thank you. Well, I'll try. As long as I have feedback from y'all that you are enjoying it, I will keep doing it. But if I feel like you guys are losing interest, then I will stop, I promise. So here we go. I'm putting the tomato. These are big tomatoes. So here we go. Okay. I'll show you how it looks. It looks so pretty. It's so colorful. and it looks pretty in your plate too. So right now I made it, it's about 12. If the tomatoes are smaller, then you can make another row of tomatoes, but right now this is what it looks like. Pretty? Tell me, be honest, does it look good? It's colorful, right? So the tomato sauce that we have boiling, we're gonna add it all over. Oh, wait, we forgot the garlic. See, I'm forgetting stuff. No, Lily, where did my garlic go? Here you go. So the garlic. Okay. Let me show you how this looks. Here you go. You see that? So I'm gonna cover it with foil and I'm gonna stick it in the oven for about 20 minutes. Just until it all cooks together. All the vegetables are already cooked except the tomatoes. They don't need a whole lot of time in the oven. So I'm just gonna put the foil on it and put it in the oven. So there, so you guys can see it. Can you see? Right there. I'll be right back. Okay, so we just cover it. Yes, Juanita, it's actually a very good dish. And like I said, if the spices, if you guys don't want to use the same spices I use, just use some Italian seasoning, the mixed Italian seasoning. That's a taste that a lot of people are used to. So I put it in the oven and I am gonna put it on bake now. So I have it on bake and it's gonna bake. Let me put the timer on it. I put 15 minutes because it's a smaller tray. Usually I make it in a bigger tray. So we are gonna make the rice, and this time I'm gonna make it a little bit different. I'm gonna show you how to do it in a different way that we also do it back home. I'll be right there. Okay, so I told you we'll be doing it a little bit different for the rice. This is what we're gonna do. I'm definitely going to try this. I may try adding some feta on top. You can do feta if you want to. Yes, yes, you can eat it without rice. You can eat it if you eat bread. If you're okay eating bread, you can definitely eat it with bread. If not, you can just eat it. It's kind of like baked. It's like ratatouille. Ratatouille, is that right? It's just vegetables cooked in the oven. So I'm gonna add a little bit of vegetable oil. And we're actually gonna fry the rice a little bit before we add the water to it. This is another way that they make the rice back home. I don't know why they do that, but I believe it's because the rice back home has a lot of starch in it. So it's kind of like to help it get rid of the starch, which in a way doesn't make sense, but I don't know. It works, by the way. It works. So we put the oil. Can everybody see from there? There you go. Yes. So I have the oil. It's getting a little warm, a little hot. And I have 3 cups of rice. So 3 cups of rice, about a 1/4 cup of the vegetable oil, I wouldn't do it with olive oil. I'll do it either with butter or with canola or vegetable oil. The olive oil, don't do the rice with it. So here it's heating up. Just draining more water out of it. Has a lot of water. So I wash the rice like I did last time 3 times to get rid of as much starch as possible. And now I am frying it in the oil. Here, let me bring this closer so you can see. It did, I should have drained it a little bit more, but I didn't. So here, I just put the heat a little bit higher. So this is, like I said, another way of cooking rice. If you do have a rice cooker, good for you, even easier. Put everything in there, and by the time your baked vegetables are done from the oven, then you have the rice ready. So they're there. I'm waiting. I have the water heating up here, and oh, we need salt. We don't want to forget the salt. Lubna just joined me, my sister. Where were you? So half a teaspoon. Sorry, I'm trying to work with one hand. About close to a teaspoon of salt. I will try it in a little bit and see if it needs more salt. After you add the water to it, then we can see if it needs more salt. So I am pan frying it a little bit in the oil, but since it has water, I'm waiting for the water to evaporate a little bit, and we're gonna add the hot water to it and let it boil, and we'll have fresh made basmati rice. Today we're using basmati rice. I believe last time I used jasmine rice. I always confuse them, but this time I made sure I have it. So it is basmati rice. Either one of the two tastes really good, but one has more flavor than the other. One is more aromatic than the other. So, or you can just use the plain white rice, but I just feel like it's too plain. So, by the way, you can also make it. You can have a side of couscous, just a plain couscous, or quinoa. For those of you who can't have wheat, you can just eat it by itself. If you want meat, you can try making the kafta that we made, the very first video. You can try making that and have it as a side, so that way you have protein in there. Now this dish, this way, I didn't add any meat to it. It's strictly vegetarian. So, there is Zaina. Say hello. Look, she's helping me. See, she couldn't stay far from me. And look what she got. What's that? What is that? I don't know what it is, but she's very excited to have it. So, see, Dad comes to the rescue. Mom is the mean one, but Dad is always to the rescue. And then we have Sarah. She's studying. She's gonna kill me, but here you go. Hi, Sarah. You're live on Facebook. She was not happy. but they can't do much when they have a crazy mama. They're stuck with her. So, right? Huh, Zaina? Look here. Say hi. Nena, you're helping. Yeah, she's now started helping. And there is Ines. Hi, Sarah.
Mama, why aren't you just
Hi, Ines. Angela's saying hi, Ines.
Hello. Why don't you just do it like you do usually?
I'm doing it a little different. So,
With the boring thing.
what? No, next time we will do that one.
That one.
You want that
I
one?
don't want that one.
Okay, there's another way that we make the rice back home. We add vermicelli to it. And for some reason, my kids don't like it. Yeah, there she is. Oh, Shannon, they love you too. So I have to. Ooh, put that away. So we have 2 cups. I'm gonna add 3.5 cups of water, and it is boiling water. There you go. Let me see what's going on. Miss Eva is saying there you are. See, she missed you, Zaina.
Who?
Miss Eva.
Who's that?
Who's that? You don't know Miss Eva. Or Eva. How do you say your name? I think it's Eva in Spanish, and Eva. I think they say Eva here. So, anyways, here you go. And Shannon, yeah, finally Zaina came back.
Since we ended up not running dead, but yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I added 3.5 cups of water, and see, it's boiling. It did get stuck to the bottom a little bit, but here I'm just making it not stick to the bottom. Here we go. And the rule to make the rice that I know is you let it boil until it boils really, really hard. You cover it and you reduce the heat. You put it in the back burner and you reduce the heat. So I'm trying the salt. It does need a little more salt. There. So let's say 2 teaspoons instead of 1 teaspoon. Sorry guys. I'm telling, like I told you last time, this whole measuring thing, I'm still trying to get the hang of it, okay? So please forgive me. But so far it's been okay. So, hola Papa. Papa is watching me from Caracas, Venezuela. And they haven't missed any episode of. By the way, what should we call this this whole live Facebook live? You guys, I need ideas. We need ideas about this whole cooking adventure thing.
Facebook Live.
Just Facebook Live? That doesn't sound fun. So give me ideas so we can name it. We can name our channel. I do have the YouTube channel, by the way. If you guys haven't subscribed to it, it's Lily's Creations on YouTube, and I will share the link after we're done. Hola Nusi. Grandpa saying hola Nusi. Hola Zaina. And my husband is sending me hearts because he's hungry. There you go. So the oven, let's check on it. Hello. This is scary. It's hot. See, there you go. It's starting to boil. I'm gonna put it a little bit higher. Let's do it on 475. Okay, 475. There we go. The rice is over here. It's almost done. Just needs. So, you see that? So you let it boil, you cover it, and then it's like on medium high. You see? Yeah, about medium high. You don't want it too low and you don't want it too high because it will burn it. And if it's too low, it doesn't come out right. It comes out like a big bowl of rice. So there we go. Let me stir it one more time, and then I will leave it alone. So this time, like I said, like you guys saw, we made it a little bit different. We pan fried the rice with a little bit of oil, and then we added the water and the salt to it. You can do it with butter as well. Butter actually does taste good when you make it with butter. So we have that, and this is going here. Gosh, I don't know what to do with myself. What should I make you meanwhile? No, I'm not gonna. Do you guys have questions, by the way? What do you want me to do for next time? Any suggestions? I know somebody wanted me to do the grape leaves, the stuffed grape leaves. I can do that. The only thing is that one is a little long. It takes time, and sometimes it's easier. It's even better if you do it the day before. You roll them and you have them ready to cook the next day. Other than that, it's about a 3-hour process from start to finish. But I will, when you guys want me to do that, I can do it. The only thing is, it will be like the general idea, and I would have to have maybe like a pot already ready with the stuffed grape leaves already cooked and ready to eat, so I can show you the final product, how it is. For that one, I do use the pressure cooker because it just makes it go fast. 25 minutes, it's done. If you don't have one or you don't like to use one, it's gonna take about an hour and a half for it to cook in the water or the broth that we are gonna cook it in. So for that one, I will give you heads up. because we are going to be needing the grape leaves, we're going to be needing rice, beef, and of course the spices that go with it. I also like to put the lamb pieces in the bottom of the pot before we cook it, so that way when we flip it, you have the beef on the lamb pieces on top, and you have all the stuffed grape leaves in the bottom. So it actually looks very appetizing. That will be like our big deal, and maybe we can do it after the in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, for the holidays. I think it's a very nice holiday dish. Like I said, for Thanksgiving, I would definitely like to share with you guys my pumpkin soup. That one is really good. It's especially if it's cold, if the weather is cold, it tastes really good. I also do a turkey that I smoke on the grill. We can also do that. I can show you how to do that. And rack of lamb. Who likes lamb? Any of you like lamb? Any of the ones who are watching me right now? There is a recipe for a rack of lamb that takes garlic, rosemary, olive oil, salt and pepper. That's it. That's all it takes, and it's done in the oven. 20 minutes, 25 minutes. You have a beautiful dish, and it tastes and smells so good. And we pair it with a wine sauce that we make from scratch. I will show you how to do that too. So if any of you are interested in those kind of dishes, I would like to hear your opinion, what do you think, suggestions, all of that. Desserts, I haven't gotten into that yet, so I will soon. I will show you a couple Middle Eastern desserts that are not very hard, including baklava. Actually, I can show you guys how to make baklava, which is very easy. It just takes a little long time to bake, so you guys can have a feel for that. So let me check on everything. I think everything is about ready. Yep, the rice is good, and I'm gonna check on the almond. One second. Yep, this is ready. It can take a couple more minutes in there, but I'm not gonna keep you live here with me. I wanna show you the final dish, how it looks, and after I'm done, I will serve it. I will take a picture of it and I will post it on Facebook so you all can see what it looks like. This is hot. Like I said, it's live on Facebook, so if something goes wrong, I cannot fix it. There we go. Okay, are you all ready to look at this? Look at the rice. Okay, so let me show you how this came out, and in a little bit I will serve it when it cools down a little bit, and you'll see how the final dish. So here is the rice, and here is the baked vegetables. It's made in tomato sauce. Look at it. What do you guys think? Does it look appetizing or not so good? Well, tell me, what do you guys think? So there you go. So was our Facebook live for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you like the taste of it, and thank you for watching and for being here, and please feedback. Okay, other than that, you'll have a good night. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye. It is really good, Shannon. You should definitely try it. Bye, Juanita. Bye, everyone. Good night.